government. We have a national government, or maybe I should say we have a national constitution. Some wishy-washy folks. Okay, thank you very much. All right, let me read to you a statement. This is from James Madison, written in January 1788, from the Federalist number 39. He says, and I quote, "Each state, in ratifying the Constitution, is considered as a sovereign body, independent of all others, and only to be bound by its own voluntary act. In this relation, then, the new Constitution will, if established, be a federal Constitution and not a national Constitution." So maybe that was a trick question. I wasn't really trying to trick you, but we do not have a national constitution. We have a federal constitution, and that's really important because what that means is that we, each individual state, still has our own sovereignty. Okay? We still have states' rights. The first year that I was elected, I went to a conference, an ALEC conference. It's a conference that a lot of legislators go to. And it was down in Grand Prairie, and they have speakers from all over the nation. I went to one conference dealing with state rights, and to be honest with you, I don't remember the gentleman who spoke now. It was a couple of congressmen, and I do remember what they were talking about, though. They were telling us, the state representatives that were there, that they wanted us to deal and to pass some legislation emphasizing and promoting state rights. If we would just do that, he said there were people up there on the hill in D.C. that were ready to get behind us. But what's been happening? What we have seen happening is that most states, and unfortunately most states' legislators, are kind of clueless about what is going on and about the right or the power, the influence that they have in representing the people of their state. And so, OK Say, and the things you have been learning through all the emails, I'm sure you get the emails too, there's a lot that can be done. And we are still a nation of we the people. My husband and I have been on vacation the last week, and we went to see a movie the other day, the Dollar movie. And it's a good movie on one hand. The language, I didn't like the language, but the movie is called Eagle Eyes. Maybe some of you have seen it. About the all-seeing eye of the government, keeping watch over the people. And you see that movie and you think, boy, this is pretty far-fetched. Well, no, it really isn't pretty far-fetched. When I was teaching government in high school, the last 3 or 4 years I had the opportunity to teach advanced placement government. And it gets much more involved, much more detailed than just your general government. And over they kept talking about the elites that we have in government. And I read that and I thought to myself, do you really believe that there are elites? I wasn't really sure, to be quite honest with you. But now that I have been a state representative for 4 years, I want you to know I stand before you today and I will say to you, I believe with all my heart that there are a group of elites who are out there who are trying to disregard we the people in the Constitution. And if we the people don't stand up and get involved and take back the rights, or make sure we retain the rights that our Constitution and our state constitutions give us, we are in danger of losing them. I've been asked a number of times in the House, why do you vote the way you do on some of the bills? Well, you know, first thing I tell them is, I'm a true conservative. But then I tell them on some bills, one's dealing with things like biometrics and smaller government, and like I remember one bill dealing with carbon credits, that if we had passed that bill, Oklahoma would have to have joined the Chicago Trade Exchange or something like that. So I Googled that organization real quickly. One of the questions that was asked the author of this bill, well, if we join this, then do we have to buy so many credits and everything? And he said, no, we don't have to do that. So I Googled this organization, which, according to the bill, if we we had passed that bill, we would have become a member of, it was requiring us to become a member of the Chicago Exchange, whatever it is. So I Googled that. And right there up front, it talks about any person who joins this organization will buy carbon credits. So had we passed that bill, it would have been a done deal. So a lot of legislators, and I'm not trying to say I understand and know everything that's going on. I certainly do not. Sometimes I'm just as clueless as the next person. But sometimes people don't know what's going on. And I had a legislator friend one day, he asked me why I voted a certain way on a particular bill. And here's what I said to him. I said, you believe the Bible, don't you? He said, yeah. I said, well, then you believe, or would you agree that the Bible teaches that one of these days there's going to be a one world government? Yeah, I believe that. I said, okay, do you think that's going to happen just like that? Or is it going to happen piece by piece by piece? And he said, well, I guess piece by piece by piece. And I said, that's right. And I said, I want you to know it isn't just the federal government that's laying the pieces. The state governments are also putting some pieces there in place. And I said, I think that bill is a part of the piece. And we were on the plane flying back from a conference, and I remember his eyes got about yay big. He got it. Unfortunately, he was defeated in the next election, but anyway, he got it. And I really believe that that this is a situation we have to deal with today. There are some exciting things going on in our government, state government, national government. We all know that. We all know the uncertainty that we're facing with the new administration coming on. But we need to be aware, and I know I'm preaching to the choir here right now. We need to be aware, and we need to do like Mark said, and pass, network out to those 150 people and get them to reach out to 150 people to let people know we really don't, we don't believe in black helicopters. This isn't a conspiracy theory, but there really is an element of government that is trying to take control, and it will involve us losing our rights. So tonight we're going to be discussing the issues of biometrics, of global information sharing, and states' rights. And we do have some wonderful bills that are being introduced in Oklahoma. And I imagine Charles and Connie, okay, Connie, I just did, are going to be talking about those tonight. But one thing I think we need to keep in mind as we talk about these issues, with what, let's say 200 people in this room tonight, there's no way we all agree on all of the important issues that we will face from day to day. There's no way. If we all did, a bunch of us aren't necessary, right? We won't all agree. So what we have to do is find a common ground where we do agree. And I don't know about you, but I'm an American. And I'm thankful to be an American. And I'm proud to be an American. When 9/11 happened, and I don't mean this to be bragging, I just mean this to show that how patriotic I am. When 9/11 happened, I went straight home and I put my American flag out. And I was thankful that I could. We are so blessed to live in this nation. But what we've got to do with the freedoms that we have, where we can deal with all kinds of issues, we need to find common ground. And I think that common ground is we are all Americans. We have been blessed to live in the greatest nation in the world. We have freedoms like no other nation has. And we have taken them for granted for far too long. And it's time that we come together on an issue that deals with the preservation of this nation and the sovereignty of our nation and our individual rights. Now, you hear the phrase, all politics is local. And your state representative is a representative not just for your district, a particular district they were voted from, but they also have some influence, I guess you could say, or we deal with the national delegation from our own state. And so we're able to say a lot of things to them that sometimes you, the average person, or unelected person, we're all average. I'm average. We have the opportunity to say some things to them that you don't always have that opportunity to say, unfortunately. But at the same time, on the flip side of that, you as an individual, who is the elected official that you can get to the quickest? Well, hopefully you can get to your mayor pretty quickly, your city council and things like that, but your state representative, your state senator, should be 2 elected officials that you can go to in a heartbeat and talk to about issues and voice your concerns. And we as legislators, we need to be concerned about your concerns. And we need to be concerned, we need to be aware about what's going on nationally, how the national government is trying to slowly but gradually take away our 10th Amendment, the freedoms of the 10th Amendment. Some of us in here are very pro-life. I would like to see all of us be, but some may not be. Some of us are more for this and that and the other. And I believe there comes a time when, because we're all Americans, I'm not asking anybody to give up their belief in pro-life. I certainly won't. And I certainly won't give up my stance that the marriage is between a man and a woman. I think you all can recognize I'm not asking anybody to compromise any of their convictions. I'm asking us to remember this. It's because we're all Americans that we need to come together on a central issue that is dealing with the sovereignty of our nation. And I think this issue of biometrics and these other global sharing issues are those issues. Because if we lose our rights in these areas, then we will no longer have the right to say I'm pro-life or I'm pro-conditional marriage. Those things won't matter, unfortunately. So I'm honored to be able to share with you tonight. I'm just thrilled to, I had no idea, to be honest with you, I didn't think there would be this many people here. And I'm just proud as punch that you all are here. And I'm thankful for the opportunity to speak with you. And God bless you. And may we just go out from here and let our voices be known.